Hey everybody, so with Pee Wee back with another video. Today we're going to be talking about the comic I started the other day called The Ember Knight. It's been out for about 5 years now, as you can see, June of 2021. There is currently 233 chapters out on Webtoon. I'm reading the Webtoon translation, so I'll probably just have a link to this down in the description. But essentially, if you know, it's a very popular comic. I, for one, I've been putting it off for a while, simply because if you don't know, the whole premise of this comic is that our main character is extremely weak physically, uh, but he is like insanely smart. And I mean, I didn't know what to expect, right? Because the whole premise of this is our main character, you know, his twin brother is murdered before his very own eyes. At least that's what we're led to believe. In the first chapter, we're led to believe that, you know, essentially he killed his own brother. Uh, However, we find out there was actually a group chasing his brother, and then we find out that actually his brother basically impaled himself on his sword because, you know, he grabbed a sword to try and like defend his brother after he got injured fighting these people from those people. And you know, the people were like, kill your brother, we'll let you live. And so his older brother basically just threw himself on the sword he was holding, essentially killing himself, so that, you know, our main character could live. So and that's pretty much like the plot point of this comic is, well, not the plot point, but like the plot points are like three-dimensional, right? Like it starts out with what we are told, and then, you know, and that's what we believe, and then it goes another layer, you know, further down in the, like, as you read more, and you know, it opens up and we peel back another layer, you know, that, oh, this didn't necessarily happen as simple as we were told or what we were led to believe. And then, oh, that it didn't happen at all like we expected, or how it, you know, we were told or led to believe. And that's what I feel like is genuinely why this comic is so good to me, which I'll get more to in a second. But our main character, basically, he disguises himself as his older brother, uh, and basically says, you know, he's going to get revenge on the people who essentially led his brother to being killed. Um, there's a lot of good with this comic. You know, the art styles, you know, it's different. As you can see, it's more like rugged. You can definitely tell it's like hand drawn, and you know, I really like it. I like the ruggedness to it because the whole premise of this comic is, you know, there's knights that are basically heroes. There's our main character, along with these other students, are like knights in training. His older brother was a knight in training who was like a genius, regarded as someone extremely strong, which is why we get the whole thing of he's pretending to be his brother, but he's extremely weak, so he has to play all these different types of mind games and, you know, rack his brain constantly, which is why he is extremely smart, because basically he uses his brain as his weapon rather than a sword, and he has to like analyze like every scenario down to the minute detail in order to figure out how a certain situation can go the way he wants it to, and how he can survive and whatnot. And it really is interesting. It does get, I will say, the one thing I don't really like about it is pretty early on our main character finds out who is responsible for like his brother's death. Like he finds out at least one of the people responsible pretty early on, but that person, nothing really happens to him. And then, you know, for later down the line, you know, he finds like the person in charge of the group, but he still can't do anything to him, even though they're in the same room with each other, because our main character is just too weak and he can't do it himself. And that's like the one thing I can say about this comic, that obviously I knew going into it our main character was weak. He was, you know, it's all about his mind and how smart he is and whatnot. But it does get frustrating sometimes when our main character like physically can't do anything. Um, Obviously, you know, he tries his best. You know, there are times where he does have to get involved, and he does utilize his like mediocre strength. in like a way that he's able to, right? Like he racks his brain about how can he, with his weak strength, be of use in a situation. And so after analyzing it and whatnot, he performs how he believes he could be the most useful. And it is just, that is the whole interesting aspect of this comic, you know. How does our main character use his brain, his insane amount of smarts, to basically navigate all these different lethal or like deadly or, you know, unfortunate circumstances he finds himself in. But he basically, yeah, he assumes his older brother's identity. Nobody like is like the wiser. Like you can see here, he's like, it worked. Did anyone notice the fact that, you know, his brother was killed? You know, but he is the younger brother, not the older brother. But he basically takes on his older brother's identity. And you know, we're led to believe at the one thing I do want to say about this comic is like the mystery aspect is the best. I don't want to make this video too much longer. It's already going on like 7 minutes. But I will say the mystery aspect to this comic is what keeps me hooked, at least. We're led to believe all these things, like, you know, the knights are the good guys, or, you know, the people from this other continent are the, you know, are like the bad guys. But as the story keeps going forward and moving forward, you know, we start to like get hit with the people that we were told are the good guys, are they actually the good guys? And the people that we were told are the bad guys, are they actually the bad guys? And I want to give an example of that real quick. So there is going to be some slight spoilers, as there usually are in these type of videos. But our main character is basically referred to as a criminal who burned down the village when he was younger. However, later down the line, we actually find out that it was his older brother who set the fire, and the younger brother was the one who just took the blame and assumed responsibility for it. So it's like, we're led to believe that our main character's older brother was like this nice person, you know, because he was so kind to his brother, and he was this person who was aspiring to be a knight. You know, he was referred to as the village's hero because he like saved people from the fire that he started. But it was like, is he really a good person? You know, is he really the good person that we are led that we are led to believe that he is, simply based on our main character's point of view? Or was he only like a good person to our main character? Because why would he, if he was like a hero, or, you know, someone who cared about other people, why did he burn down the village in the first place, you know? So it's that mystery aspect of like, we're told something, you know, we believe it for a while, and then something happens, something changes where it's like more details of that come out, and the whole like ideal of it or belief of it just switches up, and it's just completely unexpected. It's not how we thought it was, and it's just it's always interesting to see that. So I don't know, this comic, I was a little hesitant at first because I didn't know going into it how I would feel about like a weak main character, like a weak main character. Like at the start of the comic, like he can't even like dent a tree with swinging a sword. So, but I will say, you know, watching him navigate these situations using his brain and his smarts, and, you know, basically just doing whatever he can, it really is a good read, and I really am enjoying it a lot more than I thought I would. So I would definitely recommend it, even if you're someone who doesn't like weak main characters, or, you know, consumes overpowered slop like I do. But I would still recommend it nonetheless, because it is actually a fairly good comic, and, you know, I don't think you would be disappointed. But yeah, that's all I really want to talk about today. I know this video is a little on the longer side, I apologize for that, but, you know, these videos are about me voicing my opinions, what I thought, and that's what I did. So if you enjoyed, leave a like, subscribe. I hope to see you guys more in the future. Keep coming back, help me grow this channel. I love these comics, and I'm sure there's other people out there who love them just as much as I do. And, you know, I'd love to keep talking about these comics with those type of people, and basically with anybody who's willing to listen. But yeah, that'll be it for this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.